Hello, 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 everyone. I'm back for another stream, another weekly stream, and as you can see, we got Skylines. We had a little vote on the White Cliffs Discord server on what game we should watch, and so Skylines apparently was the game that we all wanted to play, wanted me to play. So we're gonna go do that. Now I already made it say like a ton of years back, and we're gonna go there and see how it up. Of course, I've been working on it recently, so it might be a bit news, but a bit new. So here we are. So this is Lakevalley. It's a big city, as you can probably already tell. With a population of 190,000. That's 190,000. That's a ton of people. All in this big city landscape. Now over here, you have the industry. You have oil around here. The rest is just regular old manufacturing factory stuff. Gets very polluted, but the workers will have to deal with it. I'm sorry. Over here is the cargo airport hub. So what we see here, got trains that are moving from these train tracks here and those train tracks there, all the way to here, and then they can store their luggage and everything until the plane will come around and pick everything up, and vice versa. The plane will drop everything off, and the trains will have to pick everything back up. Yeah, it's a complicated business, isn't it? And recently I worked on this track right here because, as you can see, this track just bypasses another building we'll get to in a moment, goes straight through here. Because originally this track led all the way here towards this cargo train terminal, where you see trucks and vehicles moving about, picking up stuff from the trains and vice versa. This was originally the first cargo-led thing. So all the tracks here and then the tracks here would kind of arrive at this big area, this terminal. And when we opened the cargo airport hub, we didn't have this track right here. We had this one track which would bypass the cargo train terminal. As you can probably tell, that would be a bit very inefficient, right? So recently we have this big old track right here. Yeah. You'll notice that we have a commuter train thing here. This serves the workers. We have a station here, and then a little bit of a station right around here. The tracks actually enter the whole industrial area and stop here. That's the terminus. We'll keep going here, and then all the way to that island over there. This nice old station. This is a more residential, commercial office, far away from the pollution and everything. We also have a metro line that's running through this little island. We have two stops there, one in the west, or well, technically this side here would be the west, so we have one stop here, and then one stop around the east right here, which you can walk towards the cable car or the railroad, whichever one's up to your fancy. The cable car will go all the way down there towards the big city itself. Now, I speak of the big city, and we haven't been there much, so we should probably talk about that. No railroads here, but we built a bit of a loop. Yeah, I actually built a bit of a metro loop thing going on. We have stop right here, and then sometimes trains will turn this way, and then other trains will keep on heading straight towards two stations. Some trains will bypass this station, other trains will not, and they'll stop there. As you can see, there's a train already arriving, and it'll be serving that stop. As another train, as you already see, is moving past. Sometimes trains will be backed up, so that's kind of common here. We've been trying to work on that recently. It got worse like on the other side. Here's another station. Sometimes, as you've already seen now, trains will skip the station and other trains will stop there. Here's a station that everyone stops at, which of course will cause a bit of delay, as you can see with these two trains. And actually, these are named stations. This is Katy Street Station because of Katy Street over here, a one-way road that crosses directly under the station. Then you get to Cooper High because there's a high school over there at Cooper Street. Some trains will skip here, some other trains will not. As you see, a train already skipping it, and then I think this one will... Okay, this one will serve the station, that's nice. Then we'll get to another stop that everyone stops at. This is Chester Street. Again, because Chester Street is right underneath the station, so... And then the station I showed you, that was Cook Street. More so because this is Cook Street right here. It's a bit of a boulevard really, but I don't judge. Office Park. Then Eden. Because Eden Project right here. Now, here's a little terminal for actual commuter transit, commuter train, so pretty nice and stuff. You got a big international airport here that, I'm gonna be honest, we need the actual international airport building, but we kind of wanted to be a bit fancy, which is why we did all this shit. There's the island again. As you can probably tell, that loop that I showed you kind of is the border between the low-lying, not that tall buildings over here. As you can see, the European-style buildings, and then you see the loop, and then you see all these tall skyscrapers, office buildings, apartments, all the like. So it's a bit of a border between that and that. Although there's the loop doesn't serve here, but already you see European buildings, European style buildings, and very tall buildings like this one right here. This is the office park, office section, entertainment sector, and then housing. The loop, and then the loop district, and then the district I just showed you, kind of blend and merge together, but it's surrounded by low-lying buildings. And then actually here, this is not even low-lying, it's just like 1 or 2 story buildings that make up the green district. Like, we got green markets, multimedia centers, the Ferris Coffee of them all, the Green Market, Public Market, etc. These are very low-lying, like 1 story, 2 story, maybe 3 at most. Sandwiched between European-style buildings that are like 4 or 5 buildings tall. 4 or 5 floors tall, and these skyscrapers that are pretty huge and tall. Yeah. Now, I've ranted for like 10 minutes about this city. Yeah, this cold city, it gets cold, like right now it's like 55 degrees. It'll get to like 80 or 90 soon, but here is the Sea Fortress, and there's the castle. Pretty nice. So when the city first got built, this highway connection, this kind of connection to the highway would be like the only connection towards the city from the outside world. Of course, right now it's backed up, but it's always been that way. It'll lead onto this street, and there used to be an Arch of Triumph straight ahead, but during the Hyraean invasion, they used missiles, so they struck the arch and destroyed it. That's why there also used to be a roundabout, but that no longer existed. It was around here, actually. Around here was the arch, which no longer exists. Here's City Hall, which used to have a plaza, which is currently occupied by a hospital. And then we have the loop, of course. This, by the way, is Hyraemous Street. Hyraemous, which connects at Webb Boulevard towards the bridge, which leads towards the island and actually towards the industrial sector, where it is one-way road, but you can go here and do your industry stuff. I don't know what that ringing was, but anyway, so Hyraemous Street will continue this way, which is mostly office, commercial street, but so it'll get to residential soon. There's another subway. And then, as I mentioned, the cable cars. The cable cars will take you. We'll follow them shortly, but we'll talk about them shortly. As I said, we'll continue towards a bridge. This is a bridge, actually, leading towards that island, and as you can see, traffic is backed up on that bridge, and then traffic is already backed up here a little bit. We'll continue as we get towards the residential part of the street towards Bed and connection with the train. This line that I showed you, the subway line, it used to be a train line, commuter train line, but the subway brought it in. That connection was severed. The boulevard turns to the actual street, and then that's it. The train's right there. Then we have another avenue. This is Republic Avenue, for the Republic that this city is the capital of. Yes, this is actually a capital city. That's why it was invaded. Now, this is a huge stadium, a football stadium. Or, well, in America, soccer. 1 second. That, they host games here. We win most of the time, so. The avenue continues towards the Garden of Eden and towards the other side of the loop. So, yeah, this is actually one of the few, I believe, one of the few streets that crosses both sides of the loop. Like, here we go. Here's one side of the loop towards Cooper High, and then here's the other that crosses at Eden. And then this is Sheffield Avenue, which starts here, and then it'll keep going like this, and it's at the Republic Avenue. And over here is a crossing with the glass terminal over there. Now, funny thing is, the tracks can connect east or west. So you see, you have this little track here, and it can go either straight on, in which case it'll serve these two platforms here, here and here, or you can use this track and it'll connect you to the other platforms here, 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 here. Or if you're coming from the west, right? Actually, you're kind of stuck with these four platforms. Can't serve these two. We tried to make connection here, but it wouldn't work. So, tough nuts. So if you're in the middle platform, you have to have the best connection because your train can go that way or that way. Like, it's up to the train system. So, and then course, if you're coming from here, you can use the middle tracks or use the tracks. Though back to Sheffield Avenue, the tracks actually intersect at this road, so you got all these bus services and stuff that will have to wait sometimes, for the train. Office Park is named after this tall building. The services office is very tall building. That it goes towards this cathedral. And it'll intersect here at Cook Street towards Blackwell Boulevard. Well, Cook Street becomes Blackwell Boulevard because it merges with the two avenues, and it'll keep going, turning here where it merges with Admiral Silas Avenue. And the reason it's called Admiral Silas is because of a famous admiral in lore, of course. Admiral Gianna Silas. This used to be the Parliament area. There used to be a Parliament here. The only evidence that there was a Parliament is this road over here. This road contains a fence. Now you might be wondering, why is there a fence between the road and the air? Like, what's the point? It's not to prevent anyone from entering these houses with the back door, though that is helpful. It's because there used to be a big fence that blocked off the Parliament for the rest of the city. The Parliament got hit by a missile strike, so that's why only this fence, and actually another fence, here remains. You might be wondering, why is there a fence here? It's not because there wasn't any fence here that will warrant like this big space. No, it's because again there is this big fence that surrounded the area. This is airbase nearby, so anyway, we'll get to this big one, Subonesu Street, named after a famous local president. This is I believe the longest street because where's it start? It starts here at this toll booth. There used to be this big walls that separate parts of the city from parts of the city. So there's bus terminal here, the service buses, and as you can see, there's the university on the left. It'll keep going. It'll keep going. Down this way where it'll intersect with Cook Street here. There's the loop train, and then it becomes a regular street. It keeps going like a long way. It'll make a few turns. Right around here. There's a university, then there's government offices. Here we got a big clock tower actually, and then it'll keep going past Memorial Boulevard, which we'll get to, all the way towards this intersection with Stephen Walker Street and Annabelle Streets, towards that big highway connection I mentioned earlier. Now Memorial Boulevard, last boulevard we're going to talk about before we get to this magazine that I really want to show you guys. Now this Memorial Boulevard is a memoriam to the individuals who died in the wars. That's a nice theater where it used to be the Parliament building, interim Parliament building. Here's the Ministry of Defense, government offices, university. This rail track is very historical because this single piece of track, right? This used to be a rail line because this area used to be a big park. Now, this rail line served from here all the way towards this area, towards where are you? Towards here. This kind of general area, this used to be served by that rail line, but that was like very long time ago, like 200 years ago. This is like a 200-year-old city. Decided it's being hit by missiles multiple times and stuff. Of course, it got decommissioned. And it was like a historical fighting place. Like you could kind of revolutionary. Jesus fucking Christ, who used it as the fighting thing. They fought from there. Anyway, this is the apartment building, much larger now. Very impressive, really. Like, look at this. Very big building. That's the Statue of Liberty. And that's where Memorial Boulevard ends. And this is also Boulevard where military parades are done. The president will be standing here at this building, reviewing the soldiers and the tanks and everything. Whew. Spoke a lot, huh? I spoke a lot, and I need water, so give me like 1 second. Oh my lord. I have a ton more speaking to do, so please forgive me. Alright. Where should we go? Because I got this magazine to read, y'all. Yeah, this is good. This station's good. Alright. Whew. Alright guys, we've got this big magazine to read, so I'll just turn on the lights real quick. Alright, New York Times Magazine for July 21st, 2024. So we are a bit late to this, but it's what it is. The front story, or well, not front, but like the story that they have in the cover, right? What will it take to free Russell Mace? Frost science helped convict him of murdering his infant son. The DA's office now says it's got it wrong. Why is he still behind bars? By Pamela Koff. That's a big story. It's not the front story, I believe. I skimmed through it earlier. It's not the front story. But we'll wait for the magazine and we'll get to that story. However long this takes. Guess we're gonna also make the comment and stuff on the other stories. Alright, 1 second, and we're gonna start. Alright, front page, not the front page, what the fuck? The table of contents, Alright, Screenland Mirror Image by Ismail Muhammad on page 7. The interview, Robert Putman by Lulu Garcia Navarro, page 11. Page 14, The Emphasis Guilty Pleas by Kwame Anthony Apaya. Page 16, Letter of Recommendation, Cowboy Boots by Brett Holmes. And finally, page 18, Eat Smoky Confit Tomato and Lemon Pasta by Yotam Ottolenghi. And then 3 more stories. Now, again, we mentioned the case with Russell Mace. That's page 20 by Pamela Koff. What would it take to free Russell Mace? The Nashville DA's office determined it relied on flawed science to convict a father of shaking his son to death. Could the same office persuade a judge to free him? Page 28, Funnel of Love, photographs by Natalie Ivis and text by David Gales. A trip into Tornado Alley with America's most obsessive storm chaser. And here we see, on page 3, this big photo, right, of a Ford F1 of a Ford 350, used by Reed Timmer, modified with bulletproof armor and scientific instruments to chase tornadoes, hoping his research might lead to more accurate storm predictions. Page 28. Finally, page 42, A Fence Too Far by Heidi Chulafitz. The goal was to shield our host from the road, but soon turned to something much more revealing. Page 4 contributors, page 14 Judge John Hodgman, page 17 White Curse Life Hacks, page 2 54 puzzles, 53 puzzle answers. Alright. Contributors. We are now page 4, ladies and gentlemen. Page number 4. Very exciting. Alright. Pamela Koloff will take to free WrestleMania, page 20. Pamela Koloff is a staff writer at the magazine and a Republican, and a reporter at ProPublica. Her reporting explores the criminal justice system. She has written for the magazine about factors that led to wrongful convictions, including junk for societies and jailhouse informant testimony. Forgive me, I'm screwing up the rating, my god. Quote, I started reporting on the National VA's office because I wanted to run up to this story for a change, Cobb says. Quote, the Office Conviction Review Unit had a pull off an incredible feat reversing 5 wrongful convictions in just a few years, and I wanted to see how they did it. After 4 trips to the trail, I came away with a very different story that I sought out. Even people who are working within the system to correct its mistakes are constrained to a path that is so hard to change. David Gales, Funnel Love, page 28. And Natalie Ivis, same story, same page. That was Star David Gales. David Gales reported the Times Climate Team released a climate for newswire and event series. He has reported from Miami, Spain, and Puerto Rico on stream weather systems related to climate change. Into climate. Natalie Ivis' photographer focuses on personal narratives about the ways humans intervene in internet nature. She currently teaches photography at Yale. Heidi Julafitz, Fast Too Far, page 42. Heidi Julafitz is a writer who grew up in Portland, Maine. Her recent memoir is Directions to Myself. Stacey Kranitz, What Would It Take to Free WrestleMania, page 20. Stacey Kranitz is a photographer in Tennessee and in a 2020 Guggenheim Fellow. Her monograph, As It Was Given to Me, was shortlisted for 2022 Paris Photo Aperture First Full Book Awards. Fumi Nagasaka, Fast 4, page 42, is a photographer in New York whose work over the last few years has spoken out documenting America. For this assignment, she traveled to 3 different towns in Maine. Alright. Well, a mouthful. And that probably means we're gonna get to very good stories. Very good stories, I promise you. As you look at this nice old train station. We're gonna go a little bit closer. Nope, that's not what we wanted to do. Please forgive me. 1 second. Alright. Here, yeah, there we go. Much closer. I'm gonna put the controller, like, somewhere else. Alright. Page 7, Mirror Image. NBA stars keep cosplaying memorable moments from the league's past by Ismail Muhammad. After the Boston Celtics won the NBA Finals last month, defeating the missable-looking Dallas Mavericks in the Champions League 4-1, the star forward Jason Tatum made his way to Skylines for a post-game interview with the veteran reporter Lisa Salters, who are the backyard NBA champion. Alright. Here we go. It continues, actually, sorry. On his head and wiping his face with a towel, he listened as Salters asks, what does it feel like to finally be a champion? This was not just sideline boilerplate. While Celtics' victory has seemed inevitable, this championship was a culmination of nearly decade-long education in how difficult winning can be. Over these years, Tatum and his teammate Tatum Brown became cornerstones of the Celtics franchise and pillars of the NBA star reliance system. But they also experienced disappointing, sometimes even humiliating defeats at the hands of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Milwaukee Bucks, and the Golden State Warriors. And amidst all that losing, they bore the brunt of fans' skepticism and anger. Salter's actual question then was, how does it feel finally to be a champion after so many false starts and fumble opportunities? It's so surreal, Tatum mumbled distractedly, before staring past Salters, the reality of victory seeming to overcome him. Then he screamed, "We did it!" He told his at the Raptors and belted out again, "We did it!" NBA fans who watched the 2008 finals between Lakers and Celtics might have noticed an echo here. After the Celtics' victory that year, Salter interviewed Kevin Garnett Another star with years of frustrated championship hopes behind him. Garnett, his cap pulled low over his face, he's up been rendered nearly non-verbal with astonishment at the win. Quote, "Man, I'm so hot right now," he began before throwing his head back and screaming as if shocked to find himself in a position. Anything is possible. Watching that moment in 2008, even I, a second-generation Celtics hater, had to marvel. Garnett looked truly, spontaneously possessed by an ecstatic spirit that wound his way from incoherence to poetry. Garnett's interview is part of a canon of celebratory NBA industry that relies on the consciousness of fans. In 2000, Kobe Bryant supplied an iconic alley-oop to his teammate Shaquille O'Neal, who dunked it with one hand and sprinted up the floor, mouth agape, arms raised, and fingers pointed up at France's delirious Lakers fans. In 2001 finals, Allen Iverson shot a long corner, 2 over a falling Tyronn Lue, who then stepped over while maintaining distant eye contact on his way up the court. Fans want me to call any number of great while on James' fast breaks, but especially the cold and easily savage chain 10 dunk, in which Wade passed the ball behind his back to Soren James, his arms extending into a Christ pose. Yes, Christ pose. They wrote that. At the exact moment, James reared back from the slam to say to Milwaukee fans, "Are you not entertained?" More recently, Damian Lillard did a long free over Paul George in Portland, and in the 2019 first-round series, and punctuating his disrespect for George's team, Russell Westbrook with a curt wave goodbye. These moments aren't just about athletes' physical and mental talents. They speak to the players' aesthetic instincts, their understanding of what makes sports beautiful to watch. NBA players, athletes whose faces are not hidden by helmets or masks, playing a league that encourages them to straight personality, are especially good at this. They have shaped their perception of beauty to such a degree that they publish it instinctively, the same way that they practice shooting 3-pointers from midcourt allows them to make a shot look effortless during a game. What we find intoxicating across a great sports moment is simply the Philly fleet where the layer is performed. I mean, that's why Tatum's in the field wrinkled elements and NBA Twitter, which serves as a collective archive basketball lore. There's joking speculation that Tatum, who had long looked up to Kobe Bryant, would celebrate his victory by trying to recreate for Kobe Bryant, contemplating the Larry O'Brien Trophy at the 2001 Finals. Soon people began cataloging other instances in which Tatum seemed to replicate famous championship celebrations, from Stephen Curry's 2022 "What are they gonna say now?" to an image that was roughly similar to Chris Bosh's hilarious 2012 champagne shower. Tatum seemed incapable of expressing any kind of joy that wasn't a mini in-joke for NBA heads. He celebrated his victory by cosplaying as champions of the past. That deserves a water break, sorry. There's more, but I spoke. Oh my god. But I have a comment here. It's amazing, really, that you got basketball, and it's like theater a bit, right? It's like theater. You're there to impress others by your ability, and when you win, you show it off. You show it off, and it's good. It's good to show off every once in a while. But I would be remiss to say that these celebrations are like who are they? they're exhilarating, and yet they're. Forgive me, I'm not into basketball, but when racing drivers win, they celebrate, they fist bumps and then they spread champagne everywhere. So it's foreign kind of to just see the kind of celebrations that, say, when you win the NBA Finals, you do. But it's not my place to criticize, like, because I don't watch basketball, so. There's a ton of in-lore, ton of in-jokes, ton of lore, tons of how you celebrate. If that's how they want to celebrate, then just, alright. I need water. Alright. Where were we? Tatum is the only player among basketball's younger cohort with this penchant for nostalgia memification. When Matt McClung won the 2020 Peak Dunk Contest, he copied the authoritative gesture Vince Carter used to call the game, slicing his head across his neck and mouthing "It's over." This past season, the Lakers' D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Davis connected for a dollar store for the weird chick dunk photo. And the recently concluded playoffs, the Minnesota Timberwolves star Anthony Edwards, the famous Jordan Shrug, after knocking down with 3 over double team coverage. The NBA these days is increasingly inseparable from social media. Players, beef with fans online, host podcasts, partners, paramours embarrass their NBA-affiliated lovers on TikTok. Yes, they are lovers on TikTok. I'll be surprised. And reporters have breaking news on X, formerly Twitter. And we're gonna keep calling them Twitter, not X, so that's an editorial thing. Quote, contributing to endless soap opera narrative churn. Since basketball unfolds on internet elements as much as it does on the court, it's steeped in its own archive industry. Not distant folks tales about Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game, but pristine footage constantly being recycled. Past and present sit side by side. James, the greatest athlete ever to play the game, continues to excel at it. Even at age, where he shares the court not just with his former colleagues' sons, but with his own. So basketball is subject to the same crazy nostalgia that organizes so much of our culture these days. As the summer league began earlier this month, and basketball fans got to see the league's newest recruits, conversation didn't center on their play. It centered on Brian James making his debut on July 6th. Almost 21 years to the day that Ron Sr. made his Summer League debut. The league has been alternated. On stealing a Ron stare out from the past on the side. So much how we interact with media these days is exercised in referencing other media. Why wouldn't today's NBA players understand the game or the same way? Strictly anxiety influence not just in terms of how the game is played, but also how it looks. How could players not be hyper aware of the physical history they're stepping into? Basketball is the sentence to center American culture has everything to do with how it channels interest in multiple fields. Music, fashion, sports into one sick package. That also contains tendencies omnivorous, not just tendency. Insofar as this space on-time fans feel as if they're watching real life versus the NBA Twitter, that might be bad news. But there's reason to believe that the younger stars will find a way to their own legendary moments. In a February interview, Anthony Edwards expressed frustration and constantly being compared to Michael Jordan. Quote, I want people to be like this Anthony Edwards kid. He's got his own style, he said. A few months there, he made on that. In post-interview, he invited Charles Barkley to visit Minnesota with his compelling, so independently made well soon enough being repeated on the state service and board website. Perhaps a decade from now, players will be imitating that. End. Alright. I'm going to get some water. And we're going to change the scene here. It's right in Lakevalley. And well, the story is like an interview with Robert Putman, who apparently knows why we're lonely. So why not go here? Why not go to this husk of industry? Watch the trains move about, you know. There we go. We'll move right here. Yeah. I'll be right back with some water and then we will be rolling through. You get to see all the amazing freight trains as they move along. No passenger trains, not many go through here, so only freight. And that's why we're lonely. 1 second. Right. Let's go on with it. More than 2 decades ago, Robert Putnam published Going Alone, The Collapsing Vitals of the American Community, in which he demonstrated with copious data that America was becoming a nation of loners, going to church less, joining clubs less, losing trust in our fellow citizens. For a moment, as individual people digested Putnam's work, seemed as those in power were eager to try to counter their trends. But you all know how the story unfolded from there. Putnam, who has spent most of his career as a political scientist at Harvard, is now 83. Yes, 83. He has watched as the nation has become more divided, more lonely, and less confident about the way forward. A new documentary, Join or Die, looks at his life and work. Alright, we got Q&A coming up. Q&A. We have Q&A between Putnam and, I believe, a reporter, which we talked about. Let's not introduce him again, because we already have. Anyway, alright, here's the question. When it comes to social connection, things feel bad right now. Do things feel bad to you? Answer. Like Bowen is even more relevant now. What we're seeing over the last 25 years is deepening and intensifying of that trend. We've become more socially isolated. Social isolation is a lot of bad things. It's bad for your health, but it's really bad for your country. Because people who are isolated, especially young men who are isolated, are vulnerable to the appeals of some false community. It's not an accident that the people who are attracted today to white nationalist groups are lonely young white men. Yep. That's alright. That's pretty bleak. That is actually pretty bleak in itself. Alright, but let's keep going. Alright, let's keep going. Question. You distinguish between 2 types of social capital, right? There's bonding social capital, and there's bridging social capital. Answer. Ties that link you to people like yourself are called bonding social capital. And bridging social capital is your ties to people unlike yourself. I'm not saying bridging good, bonding bad. Because if you get sick, the people bringing sickness soup are likely to reflect your bonding social capital. But I am saying that in a diverse society like ours, we need a lot of bridging social capital. Bridging social capital is harder to build. That's the challenge that's in America today. Yeah. Alright, question. We want community, and yet there's something that takes away from community. Why? Answer. I know you ask an academic a simple question, and they answer with an encyclopedia inside their most recent book. So that's what I'm going to do. My most recent book is called The Upswing. I wrote it with a brilliant young woman named Shaylin Rami Garrett. We looked at long-run trends income that is over the last 125 years, and the short version is upside down U curve. We were socially isolated and distrustful in the early 1900s, but then we had a long upswing towards roughly 1965. And that was our peak of our social capital. People were more trusting then, more connected, more likely to be married, more likely to join clubs. And then for the next 50 years, that trend turned around. Boeing alone looked at that single trend. This new but not only stands the length of time, but it also looks at 3 other variables. First, political polarization. That trend follows the same pattern exactly that the trends in social connectedness follow. So now we have a very politically polarized country, just as we did 125 years ago. The next dimension is inequality. America is very unequal in what is called the Gilded Age, but that then turned around. And the level of equality went up until the middle 60s. In the middle 60s, America was more equal economically than socialist Sweden. That's what he's saying, by the way. This is, what's this guy's name? Robert Putnam, an 80-something-year-old man. Academic, but still 80-something years old, so. Anyway, where are we? And then, beginning in 1965, that turns around and we plunge, and now we're back down to where we were. And the third variable that we look at is hard to discuss and measure, but it's sort of culture. To what extent do we think that we're all in this together, or is everyone a woman for themselves? And that is exactly the same trend. What caused that? It turns out to be morality, according to reading of the evidence. What stands upstream of all those other trends in morality is the sense that we're all in this together and that we have obligations to other people. Question. The thesis of this documentary about your life is join a club. How does having fun in a running club, for example, translate to democracy? Answer. It's only by connecting with other people that we generalize from our experience. In the running club, you learn that you can trust other people and learn a way what you need to do to maintain that trust. Question. You learn that you can care for people and people can care for you. And therefore, you're likely to then trust that government and institutions are actually working to help you then. Answer. Yes, but I would say that the causal sequence is you begin with trusting other people, and the trusting in other people produces a government that's trustworthy. What? Let me read that again. And the trusting in other people produces a government that's trustworthy. Okay. The virtue here is not trust, it's trustworthiness. That sounds like a serious difference, but trust without trustworthiness is just ability. Whew. Oh boy. Question. Doesn't matter what kind of club you join. Is there a tension between what might be enjoyable for you and what might be better in terms of democracy? Answer. It's gotta be fun. I'm famous as the advocate of bowling clubs, but you don't bowl so you can build a better community, you bowl because it's fun. And the doing of the bowling, you hanging out, and while you're talking about the latest TV show, occasionally you might talk about the garbage pickup and child, and that's democracy. Doing democracy doesn't mean, of course it means fully, or it means organizing, it's just saying don't think of the way to do democracy, it's just set out to say democracy. Answer. This is top of mind because we're in an election year and this collective experience of feeling disconnected and upset has bigger ramifications. Answer. Absolutely it does. I should say, even though I am liberal Democrat, most of my work has actually been supported of and supported by people on the other side of the aisle. So I have a track record of not being partisan, but I am going to show Trump because I think the market movement is different. Or because it doesn't do bridging social capital. Partially because it doesn't do bridging social capital. I mean, that's part of my diagnosis. Question. It tries to find people. Hold on. This is something. Okay. It tries to find people that are like themselves and exclude the other. And not only exclude the other, but vilify the other. And glorify the fact that it's bonding social capital. That captures the essence of the Trump movement. That they hate bridging social capital and they love their bonding social capital. Question. Are we politically polarized because we are less connected? Or are we less connected because we are politically polarized? Yes, that's the answer, yes. By that I mean life is not a one-way cause and effect. It's a vicious circle that we're calling. If you try to fix one single strand, it won't be enough because the other strands won't work against that. I don't have any simple solution to that. Sorry that you invite me here because you thought I was going to solve all America's problems. Laugh. I was hoping I was... Question, so your stage. Okay, last question, I have one for you. I'm thinking that in the documentary, you're saying the table President Clinton. And you must have felt that moment as if your message was going to be received. You must have felt so hopeful. Yeah, I hear you and your passion is so great I'm moved by it, but here we are. Yeah. Answer, yeah. So I don't know. One way to put it is this. 25 years... Where are they going? Going that way, okay. Alright, answer. 25 years ago, I essentially predicted everything that was going to happen. Still exaggerated, but not much. You know, they happen. I've been working for most of my adult life to try to build a better, more productive, more equal, more connected America. Now maybe fear looking back and it's been a total failure, but I am hopeful. Because I can see how we could change it, and I'm doing my damnedest to claim right this moment to try to change the course of history. I'm sorry that's very self-important, and I apologize for that, but I'm telling you how I see how you feel. I mean, sounds cynical, it's just, what can I do? I try my damnedest to stash the way forward, but I've not been persuasive enough. Well, maybe it's just that one man can do it alone in your community. Laps, you're right. What is your question? You started your journalism career at the end of the 20th century. Suppose you're trying to describe how you think American society has changed. Let's change. Answer. Or question. I came here in 2017 having lived overseas, and the things that I've seen are places that I've not seen here before. I start to see here. Families turning against each other. Pressures broken. Politics and very poor people's lives, and I think, as you say, turn that around is a Herculean task. It's interesting to live different creators and and so on, but I have actually seen America that was better. So I know it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't mean I know how to get out of here. But America as a whole has been good times. We trusted one another, that's what our books show. We trusted one another, we loved one another, we've been equal to one another. We even began to reach the Skylines. I mean, it's not as if the civil rights movement comes at the peak of this upswing, so I know that we can do better, and I know that we turn corners in the back. In the past. We've come back from worse, but you guys, what I've seen, I'm afraid the chapter is accidentally on upswing. I think that's what it does too. Sure does. It starts to survive, slaps. I don't do vibes, I'll do later. This interview has been edited and contains a longer version as well, but NewYorkTimes.com starts the interview. As that's an episode of the podcast, the interview. And. Okay. Alright. Ton of stuff there. But. Perhaps what he's saying is. Something is something. It's ton of stuff. I'm gonna admit ton of stuff that I was born like I'm a Gen Z guy. I'm a Gen Z guy. Generation Z. I'm not a baby boomer like this guy is. I'm not a silent generation. So I don't know. I have not experienced what he experienced. So what we think is that the America of the 60s was not equal. We were doing our damnedest to improve, but it was still unequal and everything. And he says, no, we were trying to be equal. We were trying to improve the America that we lived in. We tried to improve. In the 50s and 60s, we were trying to improve. And I think that was, and I would say to some points it's right? Like, in the 50s and 60s, you see America more as a peaceful place that, unfortunately, had a ton of stuff bubbling behind the scenes. And we saw that with the Civil Rights Movement, we saw that with hippie culture, we saw that in the 70s and the 80s with the strong conservative backlash to what happened in the late 60s. That was... If you've seen the state election, right? Democratic Electoral Convention, cops beating up protesters, right? You had tons of stuff going on in 68, in 69, around the late 60s. There's a strong liberal backlash to status quo. And I have my opinions on it, somewhat in favor, but what we saw in the 70s and what we saw in the 80s was a strong conservative backlash to that. They did not want to have that happen again. We celebrate the 90s because of our nostalgia. It was our childhood, it was the childhood of a ton of young people. My brother was born in 95, so his childhood would be 2000s. But I would imagine that he celebrates the 2000s like millennials do the 90s and the 80s. But in the 90s and the 80s, we've experienced a ton of stuff behind the scenes. More so in the 80s. And what we think is a wonderful age in America in the 90s is not so for other nations, especially Russia and Ukraine, Belarus, Eastern Europe in general. Because communism ended, and these nations had to figure out how to be capitalists and how to succeed. Because the last time they were capitalists was probably never in Russia. Because before communism was Tsarism, ton of stuff there. But in Eastern Europe, like Baltics, Poland, those places, last time they had capitalism was generally the 1920s. So to go from like 20s and into war to 40 odd years of communism back to capitalism, you have to, the people who were in power 4 years back were not in power anymore for many other reasons. They were too old to be in power too. So you now have these young forces, right? That are shaking up Eastern Europe. And they have to figure out how to succeed in a world that is so foreign to a ton of people, to their compatriots and everyone. How to succeed. And the answer is a ton of answers. In Russia, they had an answer, it did not go well. And eventually led towards the rise of Putin. And the rise of racism today in Russia. So good times, definitely not good for, not good times for Europe or Eastern Europe. And then you have Asia. They were, I don't know, I'm not gonna bother because anyway. Alright. I have a rant. I already ranted. Now let me just drink some water and then we'll get moving again. Just a second. This one is a bit spicy, so let's go to that. Here we go. It's good. I feel like I'm gonna get like a ton of bad. Okay, like if I post this on YouTube, it's not gonna be up for long, probably. Here we go. Kind of red light district, so let me just. All right. 1 second. Alright, here is the title of our next piece. Should I Come Clean About My Own Sexual Financial Betrayals? By Kwame Anthony Appiah. Here we go. 2 of my past indiscretions have left me wondering what should I do about sharing them with my spouse and or my pastor. Many years ago, my wife had one night stand with a male friend of ours. She admitted to it to me a couple of months later because she couldn't deal the guilt, explaining that she regretted the minute the actual act began, and resisted her pleas to additional encounters. I am a pretty understanding guy. I discussed her as reasons this happened, agreed that in neglecting her, starting a new business that had me frazzled and exhausted, and agreed to forgive and forget, and 50 years later, we are still together and happy. That's 5 decades. Thank you very much. 5 decades. It's just wonderful. But I always felt I owed her one, and I did have sex with a customer 3 times. Maybe that's why their name was withheld later on. Yeah, I went. Oh my god. Oh, that'll be a scandal. That'll be a scandal right away. So, sorry folks. Alright, quote. Alright, let's go. I don't have a relationship and I never have a word about it. My wife has always been very insecure, not only concerning our relationship, but in any friendship or family situation. I don't want to hurt her in any way. I know to discuss it will be traumatic and information on our marriage. The second discussion involved my fat for a few $1,000 over the course 2 years or so for my employer by getting kickbacks from the vendor. You overcharge my employer, give me a percentage of the invoice amount. There are many reasons I stole the money. You're keeping up with Joneses in the wealthy community, and you're constantly cash-strapped our kids are in college. The company I work for regularly bought sales by lavish entertainment, cash, and prostitutes. There's those cues what I did, but I think I was somehow out of mind. The stealing for them wasn't this is the same as stealing from the church or individual. I'm religious and do have a close relationship with our pastor, yet I don't really feel comfortable discussing these things with him. I can live with the guilt should I name withheld. Name withheld. You son of a gun. Why did you? Why? That, by the way, that's just me talking though. Comment. Commenting on it. Alright, here's the answer for comment. Quote, you say that your wife was unfaithful once in part because you were neglecting her. She was granted it and told you about it. Your response was to pay her back if you owe one. But being unfaithful 3 times, don't grant it, keep it to yourself. You go on to explain that you cheated your company to keep up with the Joneses. I recognize your actions by company's unseemly way of courting business. I confess that I don't view things quite the way you do. In both cases, you're thinking quite a mistaken thought that 2 wrongs make it right. Still, I do not see that much good come for confessing your long-ago infidelities to your wife now. You're the important truth about your relationship, and infidelity is likely to loom large in her lines, even though you have been faithful ever since. Nor is it clear what you're getting from confessing to your pastor. You don't say that your church practices absolutism by a private confession and repentance, as you Protestant churches do. And if you don't believe in absolution, what matters is not confession. After saying you have done wrong but repentance, this is a matter of your attitude. You pass on sin committed not to repeat them. Oh my god. Of course, the pastor may well feel that he could help you think more deeply and help you repent fully and sincerely. Well, your power to absolve you, pastor may be someone which you might choose to confide. The main thing is to recognize that you main thing is to recognize that you let yourself and others down, that explanations are indeed not excuses. It will be selfish to confess to your wife out of concern to clear records, so to speak better than out of concern of her. Especially your former employees, you don't have relationships to maintain and repair. You owe them money. It may not be possible to pay a back for an account that could put you in legal jeopardy in ways that may seem disproportionate to wrong. To your credit, all these is rarely if you guilt, though that's it by causing for injury. Next one. My husband and I live in a multi-unit building that's not our pets. Despite this, one of our immediate neighbors has a cat. Isn't more bothersome, so we see no reason to switch on them. The concern is really recently we have had a mess problem in our unit. We have tried many mechanical pet-safe solutions, for example, our health and the health of our neighbor's cats, no avail. Contacted an exterminator who recommends chemical repellent have gotten permission from homeowner association to go forward, but our neighbor has tried to be worried that it could harm the cat. Well, especially we have to share the gift to a cat. We don't want to constantly harm someone's pet, but we also cannot live with mice and more aggressive plans if necessary. Neighbor help. Answer! Oh, it's a long one. Jesus fucking Christ. So, extermination was called in, person secured. I'm going to read the opponent's poison. Secondary poisoning is a real problem in wildlife bosses. Wildcats, coyotes, raptors, and more. Their rodents can be salvaged, and live ones become by poison can be easily picked for predators. Secondary poison doesn't seem to be big rigs for house cats, I assume this one's the word ammo. And your exterminators will use the same time for a base station that they will use in the building that did wild pets. Despite their reputation, house cats seldom catch enough rodents to sicken themselves. By the same token, their effectiveness of rodent control may be limited. If your neighbor's cat were really on a stick, you might not have this rodent problem. A feline scent may help to ward off rodents, but one thing that attracts them is pet food. It's possible that your non-rule stickling neighbor has been less meticulous when it comes to storing porn the kibble. I do think the fact that I couldn't catch me there all makes a difference. The neighbor helps me aware of your own issue, but our neighbors are at base stations too, and get the building's policy. We have no reason to think twice of pets in the vicinity. Because you know about this feline's welfare is one thing you should take into consideration. Both the responsibility of keeping it from harm, from sterilization, or any signs of life to his owner. How should you feel about the use of rodent size anyway? Not great. It's generally mean a prolonged death, sometimes very prolonged for the critters they target. So let's speculate that they are a last resort. You're certainly well to try to walk around to a tree, remove any food or water they can access, any physical nesting sites, all that. If you do resort to rodent size, you should know that the specific kind you use will affect what happens if your poison farming makes their way outdoors. Scientists say that when it comes to harming animals throughout the food chain, the worst culprits are so-called second generation anticoagulant rodenticides, or SCARs. They cause progressive internal bleeding, have a very long biological half-life, and lend themselves to bioaccumulation. That is bleak. Not a cat animal in this story, you really need to worry about them. It's the creatures outside. Series of bald and go carcasses between collected between 2014 and 2018 found that more than 80% show exposure to these chemicals. When researchers tested red-tailed hawks a few years ago, they found the exposure rate was 100%. This pattern suggests not only secondary but tertiary poisoning, as when a bird eats a snake that ate a mouse that ate SGAR poison bait. Unfortunately, those chemicals continue to be widely used by commercial exterminators. Our chances are high, including the form of vitamin D, equals the risk. But significant lower ones. There are also a few non-toxic size ET powdered corn cob that don't pose over risk, though their efficiency seems less established. Basically, it's best to avoid over that size, but for the size of use, bear in mind that some are worse than others, and at least harm principle applies. Comment Anthony Apaya, T-Swapsi, MIU. Supposed to include cosmopolitan article and lights by meeting at Dandy. Thank you very much. Alright. What the? Alright. Another water break, everyone. That was a long one. And the next one seems to be a... What the... Oh, yeah, it's the wire cutter thing. Alright, so, they're recommending cowboy boots. Yeah. Cowboy boots. I don't think I'm gonna be wearing any cowboy boots soon, but hey. Have you what one? Oh wait, they're not recommended, they're talking about them. They're talking about... Okay, why are they talking about cowboy boots? Oh, why? Alright. Whew. I'm reading a bit fast, but we're an hour in, so... And we got, like, a ton more left. We still haven't gone to the front page, like the story that's in the front cover, so... That's later. And then, let's get to this cowboy boots and the watercolor, wire color life hat thing. It's just in the same page. Before that, let's change scenes again. Cowboy boots. Well, we don't really have a desert area, so where? Oh, we did Monster Casino too. All right. Hey, let's go to the Modern Art Museum right here. Yeah, you get to see some nice. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. All right. Cowboy Boots by Brent Holmes. Brent Holmes. Way out approximately 152 miles from Las Vegas in Lincoln County, Nevada, I met Ed. He works for the artist Michael Isaiah City. He has a prolific land art sculpture, which is 1.5 miles long and located in a remote stretch of the Nevada desert. I'm on this ride as a cultural commentator for the Nevada Independent. Ed is our driver and guide for the day, because first thing was his guest on the trip. He is affable and charming, with a certified dose of kindness that Westwood, Lakeland, and Mormon country possess. In between bouncing and now his shabby doll, Ed looks at my feet and remarks, "Those are mighty fine pair. I got your home. I'll drive them out." Ed is, of course, referring to my cowboy boots. I don't often have opportunities to find things in common with strangers in general, but especially in rural Nevada. Coming from a bi-coastal back family possessing no love for sport business, I find most of my conversations center on topics like art and history and human rights are somehow structured free. My interests make it hard on the surface to relate to a rural Mormon. That's not intelligent, I know. But to my surprise to end, I have more than to talk about. We're well versed in the region's botany, including the Great Basin, sagebrush, and juniper trees. We also understand ranching practices. My family owns 200 acres of meadow and forest near Colorado River in Egypt, Texas. And Ed learned what he knows from a lifetime experience in Alamo, Nevada. The initial conversation about my boots led to many more. It strikes me that we have, in the most tactic of senses, become friends thanks to my footwear. My boots are composed of stat leather and are lastly embellished with romantic stitching. Cowboy boots are a coalition of several cultures. The riding boot dates back to the Mongol Empire. Mongol riding boots and cowboy boots look like cousins down to the pointed toe, but the forward model is much taller and the upon the heel. The direct progenitors are modest spurs on the British Wellington and the Spanish riding boots. Shoes created for military action and ranking respectively. According to legend, this design was altered around the 1870s to support a scarlet top, which provided easy access and removal. The side of the boot is thick enough to repel chafing scrub brush and ordinary garments. Skylines, as they endure difficult working conditions, nimble and supportive for fast action, still powerful and noble looking after a shine. Boots moved left after the Civil War. They rode through cattle drives on many black and brown feet. Up to 60% of all early cowboys are believed to have African or Latino descent. An estimated quarter of working ranch hands after the Civil War were black men freedom slavery. Finally, receiving compensation from work they were familiar with. Story cowboys spent much of their income on their gear's ornamentation and decorative flair. Before I cut my hair, I cut an interesting figure in the desert. This is a modern incarnation of the black cowboys I study. My dreadlocks are drive long under my cowboy hat and I carry a suitcase. My ornate kicks completed the look. Came to cowboy boots at a long time attachment to factories, several tennis shoes that are for size, comfort, to feel culturally relevant. I also wore flip-flops and chugged out cocks. The comparison to the cowboy boot is rustic utilitarianism footwear that fits right in a black tie event or a more looking environment. I wear mine every day as a sort of a post-18th century cosplay and those my testing roots. I figure if you can wear them with cattle ranching and conquering the West, I can wear them on a casual night out, picking the kids up in school, and it's always on my heart. I'm now on my third pair in 6 years after broken, and they are more comfortable than any footwear I've been myself to. Cowboy boot is innately American shoe attached to the symbol. The more normalized distribution of black cowboys in recent pop culture, see Beyonce's album Cowboy Carter, Lil Nas X's Old Town Road, The Billion Don Lemons' music, Bill Puckett Invitation to Rodeo, might prompt more people of color to push the pair, identifying with a special epithet, Americana, from which he has so often been excluded. Cowboy boots' legacies are complex. We may be the gear we mean right now. Americans can agree on much these days, but if we're going to come to consensus on cowboy boot, we might be able to find other things we have in common. Like in Las Vegas, I'm getting my tire changed. It's my local Lantera religiously for this necessary maintenance. Cherry man who runs the shop approaches me during this rotation, declaring, "I got a great pair of ropers, man. I'd like to take them dancing." I've been coming to this shop for 7 years. This is the first time he said to me that I wasn't related to Oliver. I'm wearing a new burgundy pair of boots and maybe the color eyes. Go on for the next 20 minutes about his love for cowboy boots, his collection, his kids, and mine, and how he dressed them up in Western style for important events. I almost got installed into all my shoes, so it's been a relationship I've only superficially engaged, and now, ladies and gentlemen, Wirecutt's Life Hacks, illustrated by Giacomo Cambianeri. Yes. I want to work outside more this summer, but it's too muggy and buggy. I don't want to spend their money on pricey patio umbrellas and mosquito repelling products. Wirecutter says, there's an ocean that solves both problems. A fan. A fan. What? A fan. A fan outside. A fan outside. As if we don't rely on wind enough. We gotta need a fan. We need a fan, guys. A fan. You people make me sick. Anyway. Me or I see this most basic appliances both keeps you cool on sunny days and repels mosquitoes. Why do you know this? Alright, Wirecutter, how does it repel mosquito skin? Can't they just move around it? I understand it's cool, but you have wind. Have you ever heard of wind? Maybe you're in the desert, sure. They don't have wind, that's alright, fair enough. But if you're in a temperate climate like New York, you have wind. Wind. Just use nature's fan. Jesus Christ. Alright. Well, it's also quite nice to sing to Valhalla Lords and Neighbors. So, we're done. That's it. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen. What would it take to free Russell Mace? Ladies and gentlemen, we finally got to the story that was in the cover. We finally did it. We finally did it, guys. The Nashville DA's office determined it relied on flawed science to convict a father of shaking his son death. Could the same office persuade the judge to free him? By Pamela Koloff. So, guys, let's David credits. Water break before we start. And we should probably change the scene actually. Where's the police station? We gotta find a police station. Alright, yes, you'll do. Alright, we're at Robert Street, ladies and gentlemen, Robert Street. We're gonna go to this police station right here. So this is a nice police station, you know. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do this. How many pages is this? Oh. Okay, we got a ton of reading. Hey. Alright, let's get on going. Sunny Eaton never imagined herself working at the district attorney's office. A former public defender she once represented in that field. Fuck me. Alright. A former public defender, she once represented Nashville's least powerful people. And she liked being the only person in the room willing to stand by someone who no one else would. She spent a decade building her own private practice, but in 2020, she took an unusual job as a director of the Conviction Review Unit in the Nashville DA's office. Her assignment was to investigate past cases her office had prosecuted and identify convictions which there's new evidence of innocence. You know, I wish I had a camera on me because like I'm moving around, checking around, pounding fists everywhere, pointing everywhere, and you can't see it. All you see is this police station. So you're gonna have to rely on my voice to follow along. I'm moving around. God, I need justice. Alright. I mean, I did try to set up a webcam for my PlayStation, but it couldn't work. Apparently, it only wanted to be a mic, so it didn't want to do the camera, so... Oh, you couldn't see me today! But no, I'm sorry. You probably have to wait a little bit. Ah, it would have been perfect. Alright, back to the story about shaking, whatever. Alright. The enormousness of the task struck her on her first day on the job, when she stood in a unit storage room and took in the view. 3 ring binders, each holding a case file for evaluation, stretched from floor to ceiling. The sheer number of cases reflected how much the world has changed over the previous 30 years. DNA analysis and scientific research have exposed deficiencies of evidence that half a decade helped prosecutors win convictions. Many forensic disciplines, from hair and fiber comparison to the analysis of blood spatter, bite marks, burn patterns, student tire impressions, handwriting, were revealed to lack a strong scientific foundation, with some amount of quackery. Eyewitness identification turned out to be unreliable. Confessions could be elicited from innocent people. Puzzling out which cases to pursue were not easy, but Eaton did her best work when she treaded into uncertain territory. Early in her career, as she learned her way on the courthouse, she felt she says, like, quote, an outsider in every way, a queer Puerto Rican woman with no name, no conventions, quote. The outsider sensibility never completely left her, and served her well at the DA's office, where she was armed with a mandate that required her to be independent of any institutional authorities. Her job as a chance to change the system for within. Beneath the water-stained ceiling of her new office, she hung a framed Toni Morrison quote on the wall. Quote, the function of freedom is to free someone else. Now that's the damn quote if I've ever seen one. Alright. There's more. There's 2 more pages. Most of the stories that we've seen so far are only 1 page. Like, actually, it's 2 pages, but then this story is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 pages. We got 5 more pages. Actually, we're not even done with this page, so 6 more pages to go, everyone. Let's go. If E10 concluded that conviction was already supported by evidence, he is expected to go back to court and try to undo the conviction. The advent of DNA analysis and the revelations that followed did not automatically free people that were convicted on the but evidence or discredited forensics. Many remain locked up, stuck in a system that gives them limited grounds for appeal. In the absence of any raw national effort to rectify these convictions, the work on unwinding them has fallen to a patchwork of law school clinics, innocence projects, and increasingly conviction reviewers and informed-minded officers like Nashville's. Working with only one other full-time attorney, Anna Hilton, Ethan proceeded at a ferocious pace, recruiting law students and controlling a working cast of colleagues to help her. By early 2023, her team of persuaded local judges to overturn 5 murder convictions. That's a F yeah, hell yeah, ladies and gentlemen. 5 murder convictions overturned by early 2023, so 3 years. 3 years. There's a ton more, boo. Hurrah! Alright, still, each case they took on was a gamble. A full investigation of a single innocence claim could span years, with no guarantee of clarity at the end. Or uncertainty, even if she found exculpatory evidence that she could spur the court's act. One afternoon, as she weighed the risk of delving into a case she spent months poring over, State of Tennessee versus Russell Lee Mace. She reached her document that Hamilton wanted her to read, a copy of the trial of the defendant's wife, Kay Mace, wrote about the events at the heart of the case. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, we're gonna get into this case that we talked about in the cover story, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, let me just get my reading light on. I have like a headband that, like a light headband that, Myers used for light. Alright. Oh, this is probably but I can finally read. And one more time, water break. Get on with it. Hey, last journey, how's it going? I'm doing good. Let me readjust. No. Alright. Alright. Here we go. The journal began a quarter century earlier with case unexpected much wonder pregnancy in the fall of 1998. Then 34 and the manager of the jewelry department at a local Walmart, Kay, had been unable to conceive in the previous marriage, and she was later to be pregnant. Her husband, who shared her assignment, accompanied her to every prenatal visit. Early on, there were signs of trouble, and Kay was told she might miscarry. Quote, I found out at 4 weeks I was pregnant, she wrote. Quote, I was in the hospital 2 days later, cramping and bleeding. The bleeding, quote unquote, the bleeding caused continued intermittently throughout her pregnancy. And she suffered from intense, at times unrelenting nausea and vomiting. She was put on bed rest. And Russell cared for her while also working the overnight shift at a trucking company. For the next 6 months, they hoped and waited, while Kai lay in a state of suspended animation. 18 more days and details as she read. Quote, after developing gestational diabetes, pregnancy-induced hypertension, having low amniotic fluid, it was decided to induce labor at 34 weeks. 34 weeks. When she gave birth to her son, Alex, on March 25th, 1999, he weighed 3 pounds and 12 ounces. Alex spent the first 13 days of his life in the neonatal intensive care unit. Kay and Russell roomed with him before he was discharged in classes on PME care and infant CPR because he had been diagnosed with supraventricular tachycardia or an unusually rapid heart rhythm. They were provided a heart monitor and taught to count his heart rate. The basis were attempts with parents eating pussy. In the 3 weeks of hold in Cereso Hospital, they took him to doctors' medical facilities 7 different times. They took him to the hospital and to medical facilities 7 different times in 3 weeks. When they took him to the after-hours clinic on April 18th to report that he was grunting and seemed to be struggling to breathe, the physician dismissed their concerns. Quote, "We were told that as long as we were able to console Alex, there was nothing wrong with him, except that he was spoiled," Kay wrote. Let me comment here. Let me comment. This son of a gun, right? This physician say he was spoiled. He's not even a month old, and he's spoiled, apparently. The guy is suffering a ton of stuff going on with his heart, and he's spoiled. Because the parents are giving him attention. What the fuck are you on? Seriously, no, what the fuck are you on? Like, come on, you're ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Like, think about it. He's not even a month old and apparently is spoiled. Because the parents care for him. Idiot. They're trying to, you know what? Alright, let's keep going. You know what? Let me find a better way to, like... Alright. Alright, here we go. The doctor advised him to continue that we, as new and anxious parents, need to learn what is normal. It was the admonition that they were too vigilant that discouraged them seeking medical attention when Bruce emerged on the son's left temple and then his right temple. Another bruise appeared on his stomach. We were so worried that the tummy massage given his son to read about painful consultation was the blame. We are concerned, Kay wrote, but trying not to tumble status. On May 3rd, Kay left their apartment to buy formula. Half an hour later, Russell placed a phantom phone call 911 report that Alice stopped breathing. He warned CPR until paramedics arrived. The baby was rushed to the hospital where doctors discovered that he had subdural hematoma and retinal hemorrhaging. Blood had collected under the membrane that encased his brain and behind his eyes. Preliminary medical tests turned up no obvious signs of infection illness. Bruising visible on both his forehead and abdomen. Suspicion quickly fell on the Maces. We were told Alex had injuries. Quote, "We are told Alex had injuries you only see with chicken baby syndrome." Unquote. Okay, so the doctor who called into some of the 5-week-old summary reviews told me that she thought Russell her Alex. Each then read the journal knowing that in years since the infant was taken to emergency room, seeking baby system had come under increasing scrutiny. Going by researchers that stated that the child symptoms of the physician used to diagnose the symptom drain swelling being able to brain and eyes are not necessarily produced by shaking, or international and accidental causes to accelerate the same symptoms. Nevertheless, shaking brain syndrome and its presumptive views have served and continue to serve as the rationale for separating children from their parents, for sending mothers, fathers, and caretakers to prison. This process was called for the right the total number of Americans convicted on the basis of diagnosis, or the slim fraction of cases that met the legal bar to appeal, and led to a published appellate decision. Still, analysis of these rulings from 2018 found 1,431 such criminal convictions. When Alex was discharged from the hospital 3 weeks later, he had been removed from his parents' custody and placed in special needs foster care. His office charged Russell with aggravated child abuse. He was jailed that June and found guilty by a jury the following February. Alex's health continued to deteriorate. In October 25, 2000, over the Mace's emphatic objections, he was taken off life support. When Russell's conviction was verified on technicality, prosecutors charged him again, this time murdered. He was found guilty in 2004 and sentenced to life in prison. By the time he examined the case, He had been behind bars for near a quarter century. She turned to the journal's file entry. Quote, my beautiful baby took 20 minutes to leave us, unquote. Kate wrote about day-to-day house and stuff. When she was married to cradle him, the presence of his foster parents. Quote, I held him in my arms, rocked him, and sang him to heaven. This is the most horrific thing for any mother to endure. The agony of my husband felt not being allowed to be there as agony no father shall endure. For the state of Tennessee has taken from us to never be replaced forgiven. Unquote. Each understood it. She decided to take on the Mace case and concluded that Russell did not be his son. She was still looking along odds. She would have to go before the original trial judge. The defendant for innocence claims typically starts to court where the case was first heard. Jury that police, prosecutor, and jurors got it wrong. That judge, Steve Dozier, was a no-nonsense foreign prosecutor and the son of a veteran police officer, who might be disinclined to disturb the jury's verdict. Was Dozier's investigation, and she did not know what she would find, only that she needed to first understand what persuaded jurors of Russell's death. Russell's guilt, Jesus Christ. The evidence included testimony from the diagnosing doctor, Susan Starling, who told jurors that the bleeding amount around Alice's brain and eyes indicated that he endured a ferocious act of violence by shaking. You will be appalled at what this looked like, she testified at Russell's first trial. So first with a shaking, she added that children would fall from 3 or 4 floors into concrete could assume a brain injury. You also need to make sure a set of X-rays suggesting that Alice's clavicle had been fractured, and according to interrogation, the prosecutor is characterized as admitted guilt. In listening to that sketchy audio of Russell's interrogation, she could hear the distant voice of police detective Ron Carter posing serious and increasingly competitive questions. A serious confrontation started considered good police work. He recognized, but she observed that Carter would take no for an answer when Russell denied hurting his child. Carter was murmuring without disturbing to investigators, informed that the baby had been shaken. Carter predicated his question on that seemingly uncomfortable fact. You had to shake that child, he told Russell. That's the only way it could happen. The detective repeated this idea more than a dozen times. Russell was already in a state of distress. He had just stood 4 previous rounds of questioning in the hospital when Gene Precision told the story and our deception and child welfare investigator. He did not know his son was going to live or die. As he started the interview, he should see that Russell consistently denied harming his son, but he never asked for an attorney, and unguarded comments sought to help tell this fill in the blanks, a situation that he himself did not seem to understand. He argued that it was possible that Alice pointing out and Carter accidentally shot the baby was statistically cheering him to point cause injury. No, he said. Carter warned him that he was getting deeper and deeper into trouble, and that his baby boy was lying up there for something that you caused. The doctor continued to insist that Russell was not telling the truth, that only he or Kay could be to blame because they're Alice's sole caretakers. Worn down, Russell finally hypothesized that he might have tossed his chicken and tried to revive him after finding him unresponsive. I guess I could, Russell said, suddenly it's possible. To Ian's ears, this did not amount to confession. As she understood it, Russell's pressure to either accept blame or point the finger at his wife. He had remained steadfast that he did nothing to cause Alice to become unresponsive, but found the baby that way. The case did not look like the abuse case he saw the public defender. Rather than hiding their son away, the Maces put him in front of doctors again and again. They knew that once investigators and prosecutors settled on the theory of the case, stage narrative causes and says narrative confidences and DAs to go to great range to defend it. District attorneys obviously often reflexively reject innocent claims and flop defenses versus have the courts consider potentially exonerating evidence. They're faced with underlying police work and certainty about defendant's guilt can make prosecutors resist acknowledging a mistake. So too can the political pressure to protect the office's record and to appear tough on crime. It's a grant some prosecutors fight for sake of fighting, said Jason Kirshner, the Tennessee Innocence Project's deputy director, who represents Russell Mays. Nashville created a conviction review unit to try disrupt the prosecutorial mindset was following the early lead of another reform-minded DA's office. Thus, 7 Dawson's newly elected district attorney Craig Watkins established what he called the Conviction Integrity Unit. The office inherited a long over history of tipping the scales of justice against black citizens, and Watkins wanted to harness the power of innovative technology, DNA analysis, to see if he can undo some of the harms of that legacy. The unit reviewed hundreds of convictions which defendants' requests for testing have been denied. When plane crashes were investigated, Watkins told the Senate Judiciary Committee in 2012 when he testified about unlawful conditions. We not pretend they did not happen. We do not falsely promise that it will not happen again, but we learn from it. We make necessary adjustments so that it doesn't happen again. By the time he left office in 2015, his conviction integrity unit had exonerated 24 people, nearly all of them black men. Since then, the office has secured 9 more exonerations. Watkins' vision for changing the system from inside inspired prosecutors in cities surrounding the country for their own vision reunion. 1 second. Sorry about that, folks. We're going to ignore that. Anyway. Hold on, 1 second. 1 second. The guy followed me. The guy fucking followed me. Okay, so... One second. There we go. Timeout. I should, probably, like... I should have to, like... Think, that's stupid, like... Well, he has 10 minutes. Alright. The guy threw me off. Jesus Christ, threw me off track. Alright, well, let's go. But because unraveling complex ongoing criminal cases labor-intensive, conviction review units are unheard of in this smaller resource strategy office adult rural America. Some 2,300 prosecutors' offices nationwide, just about 100 of them. And where they are set up not with career prosecutor but attorneys of defense experience, they can be powerful tools. According to data collected by National University of Exonerations, these units have helped clear more than 750 people. Last year, they played a role in nearly 40% of the nation's exonerations. In years that followed Russell's murder conviction, doctors announced the notion that shaken baby syndrome symptoms voice evidence of abuse face resistance for prosecutors. Brian Holmgren, who led the Leicester VA Office Child Abuse Unit until 2015, and who tried the Mace case, built national profile as one of the most strident critics of prosecutors served on the International Advisory Board for National Center on Shaken Baby Syndrome, a non-profit advisory board for National Center, a non-profit advocacy group, and left her around the country about how to conduct shaken baby review prosecutions. Forgive me 1 second. I've been swinging for a while, so I should have these breaks every now and then. Oh, so I should be on mod view, like... I should be on mod view, what's going on? One second. I should probably, like, start that. Alright. in the wait, where are we? There you go. While a prosecutor, he served on the International Advisory Board for the National Convention for the National Center on Shaken Baby Syndrome, a non-profit advocacy group, and he lectured around the country about how to confront shaken baby syndrome prosecutions. He also was a co-author of two 2013 law review articles which were ambassador doctors to testify for defense in such cases. I'm going worse than that, right? Suggesting that they're willing to offer a scientific testimony for the right price. There we go. Done. Alright. Yeah, I'll give him some. They'll give him something. Alright. Where were we? Holmgren, they no secret disdain for those doctors who he delivered a keynote presentation at a National Center for Segregated Children Conference in Atlanta 2010. Standing before an image of Pinocchio, he read from the testimony in precision to refuse segregated diagnosis, with his notes going longer each quote. He concluded his talk by finding a guitar playing repetition, the lead audience and sing on to if I only have brain for zero odds. Quote, I will say there is no basis for claims in shaking cases. My opinions in demand. Though my theories are outrageous, I'll work hard to earn my wages if I only get 10 grand. Holmgren's passionate advocacy on behalf of child victims is a polarizing figure in Nashville. In 2015, Tennessee ran a front page article revealing that he told a public defender he will not have to repeat deal in a child got case unless her client, who was mentally ill, she had stabbed her toe in the stomach during one pregnancy, agreed to be sterilized. Let me comment here. That's obviously judicial abuse, like Holmgren, what the hell are you on about? Like, she's mentally ill. She does not need to be sterilized. She does not need to be sterilized. Why? Why do you? Okay. Alright, let's just move on. His dismissal soon after was part of the sea change of the DA's office that began in 2014. Tours elected Glenn Funk, a longtime defense lawyer, to the city's top prosecutor. Besides committing to reform the condition review unit in late 2016, she argues her virtually non-existent in itself. But for the first 3 years, his all measures of failure, as shown by his own bureaucratic rules, the panel of 7 prosecutors had to agree before any formal investigation took occur. The unit had yet to reopen the case. In 2020, Funk proceeded to come run the unit with surgeons who will not have to contend with the panel of prosecutors that she will answer only to him. Even the qualified medical experts to evaluate the evidence in May's case, but she thought the public verification of doctors might still get pause to one she wanted to talk to. Dr. Michael LaPosta previously served 3 pathologists at Vanderbilt University Hospital in Nashville. Dr. LaPosta spent much of his career recommending that physicians make search for online diseases when evaluating children who abuse openly internally rather than leaving to the determination of abuse. His body of work has shown that symptoms of certain blood disorders can mimic and be almost indistinguishable from those of trauma. In 2005, he co-authored a world seminal paper for the American Journal of Clinical Pathology, which acknowledged at the onset that child abuse often goes undetected. The fear among clinicians that they might inadvertently overlook a child's suffering has produced a high seal for identifying cases of child abuse. That seal, the paper will argue, combined with a lack of receipts and blood disorders, had led to catastrophic mistakes. It is very easy, occur, to presume that bruising and bleeding is associated with trauma because it's called coagulopathies, disorders of blood coagulation that may explain the findings are often poorly understood. Such a misinterpretation, the paper caution could result in the false conclusion that a child had been abused. Now, the chief of pathology at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston, Dr. Posta, was initially guarded when the Conviction Review Unit was asked if he would assess the Mays case. Explaining that he was already over committee, he agreed to look at his lab records and K's prenatal birth records, but he made no promises that he could do more. His substance fell away after he reviewed the material. One fact leapt out at him immediately. Alice's blood work was not normal. The infant's hematocrit, or concentration of red blood cells, was not only extremely low, size and shape of these cells were also atypical. This suggests a problem with red blood cell production that would have taken time to evolve, making it inconsistent with acute trauma. He put this in simpler language when he spoke with Ethan and her team, and she wrote down those words, quote, "Abnormal red blood cells are not created from child abuse. These abnormalities raise suspicion of an undiagnosed blood disorder." Pathologists also zeroed in on case prenatal history. In addition to the health issues team in the journal, Dr. Posta noticed a positive result for anti-nuclear antibody tests, commonly associated with immune disorder. Credibility with such disorders often develop antibodies and can pass on to their fetuses, he explained. These antibodies can remain in the infant system for months, so they lead to formation of blood clots. You can see that the training precision did not conduct all the necessary tests to determine all carried antibodies. It would repeatedly expose them to clothing abnormalities. It is surprising, quote, that these tests were never performed on a child given the same circumstances. And clinical investigations have been caught in the plain card for prosecution case, and from that point onward, Ian did not look back. This is confession which her teams would focus on. There was a plausible medical explanation of Alice's bruise that also had profound implications for Kay. Prosecutors have pointed to them as evidence that Kay should have known her husband was abusing their son. For failing to protect them, they charged her in 1999 with great assault. After she was told that the open criminal case would be hard to regain custody, Kay took an for plea to reduce felony charge, a plea that lost defense disappointment while maintaining their innocence. She granted to receive a 2-year suspended sentence and never regained her parental rights. Ethan often thought about Kay as she stood through the case file. If Kay had been going to testify against her husband, she would have won back custody of her son and started cooperation. Her criminal charge could have been reduced or dropped. Yeah, she always stood by Russell. She was unequivocal when she testified at his murder trial, saying that he was not capable of their child. He moved to rural East Tennessee after he was incarcerated there. She could visit him as often as possible to never abandon their marriage, so he could even knew that such loyalty was rare. One person's sentence will lead to divorce, and the more time a person remains locked up, the more likely their marriage is to fall apart. Kay's fearful belief in her husband was not the kind of hard evidence Ethan was seeking, but she found in a way, nor at that point to consider. Whew. There's more. Oh, Jesus Christ. I thought this would be like, where is it? I thought it would end at this page, but it's not. But let's finish up this page, and then stop, because goddamn, this is long. Alright, Ethan noticed the detail in the trial transcript that he found telling. A police officer named Robert Emerson testified that when he arrived at the apartment's paramedics for 2-5 hours, he saw Russell looking on impassive. Exactly what I recall when he was kind of watching and essential Terry didn't appear upset, no, not from outside. His distance was Russell was callous, even cold-blooded. Ethan, having followed the emergency research on trauma, saw something different in his emotions. The Lakevalley police came just after Russell drove to resuscitate his son. He turned blue and gone to cardiac arrest. Struck by how little investigators who forced not him his son's to acute stress, of which they left the knowledge to investigation unfold. Ethan has educated herself but faced the trauma because they alter not only the lives of her defense clients but also her own. She arrived in Nashville during her tumultuous adolescence. After running away from home in Clarksville, Tennessee at the age of 16, quote, I experienced significant trauma and I didn't know how to help, she told me. She is from a peripatetic military family that was not equipped to give her the intensive support she needed. In Nashville phone booth, she inspired Sticker directed, if you are a teenager and you need help, call this number. She dialed the number, weaving too seriously, said that she had nowhere else to turn. The phone call in Blue saved her life. Led her to nursery shelter for teenagers where she found counselors who were trained in crisis intervention. After receiving daily therapy, she returned to Clarksville to finish high school. From that point forward, she knew she wanted to go into the helping profession. Her training that led her to first psychology and then law. She's drawn to representing defendants who she saw as survivors of drama too. No 5-year-old dreams of going out to incoming felon, she told me. She joined the public defender's office in 2007, scoring off against the DA's office day after day. She would go quick on her feet and tenacious. 3 years later, she started her own private practice. Funk, the district attorney, always regarded her as one of the brightest stars in Nashville's criminal defense bar. And as his confession unit foundered, he went on to earn 2019 about taking the helm. He knew that he wanted to make the unit effective, he had to put someone with her singular focus and defense experience in charge. National CRU was not only the only one to fall short of expectations. Many conviction review units had not produced enough exoneration. The underperforming conviction review units only getting rise to suspicion amongst defense attorneys that there's more cynical calculus at work. CTAs who want to to settle their commitment to justice reform without actually doing the hard work of challenging fellow prosecutors and local police officers. CRU was successfully constituted its complete utter sham to defense lawyer Daniel Horowitz in 2018. The National DA's office is client to act on new information that his client convicted of murder was the wrong man. If Funk's witness tried to do better, Ian saw an opportunity to give defendants a credible innocence claim to a fair hearing, while using the resources of the state to investigate. First case she took on from 2020 was Horowitz's client, Charles Webster. Tennessee law is not good out here as anchor mechanism to get back to court. They uncover potential wrongful conviction. Ethan coordinated with Horowitz. We already obtained DNA testing of the murder weapon and tracked the light witnesses to killing whom police have ignored. After conducting your own investigation, built on 2 years of work by her predecessor, she went to court to join argued defense of Webster walk free. His confession was vacated and he was released having served 15 years in a life sentence. This became the template for how Ethan worked. Conducting her own parallel investigations alongside Tennessee Innocence Project, she probed more trouble cases. The 5 conditions she helped undo, 3 relied on forensic findings that are now seen as flawed. One of those defendants, called Garrett, had already spent nearly 28 years in prison, and Ian began looking at his case in 2020. He survived the 1992 house fire only to be charged with murder after fire investigators determined that the blaze, which would claim the life of his fiancée, was intentionally set. He was locked up when his daughter was 5 years old. In the intervening years, many once accepted tenets and arson science was debunked. Poor patterns of burn marks that arson investigators saw proved to some important as selling at the house had got to be understood as natural byproduct of fast burning fires. Several nationally recognized fire experts refuted the case despite there was no evidence the fire was intentionally set. A stripped of demonstrably unreliable testimony, faulty investigation at this basis speculation in moved to court. The case against Garrett is non-existent. Garrett's confession was vacated and he was released in May 2022 at the age of 65. He died suddenly 5 months later of heart failure. Quote, when we have festive in silence, why don't we look at every single case in which that silence convicted someone and see whether the evidence still stands up, his daughter, Diana Watson, says. People are going to die in prison who don't belong there. Human beings who literally have no reason to be there who are stuck there based on what we thought was true 30 years ago. Called Gary's staff who always hang over Ethan, a nagging reminder as she worked on the maid's case that there was no time to spare. She and Hamilton was a former federal defender, threw themselves into their reinvestigation. Lawyers learned about blood disorders and genetic diseases, for medical journals and won their own dollars, the doctors. They spoke to experts about police interrogation techniques and the effect of emotional trauma on suspects. They visited the Mace's former apartment complex to visualize the sequence of events. They conferred with lawyers at the Tennessee Innocence Project who were talking to other medical experts around the country. Still, the question remained, what happened to Alex? Ethan wanted to stay focused on the specifics of Alex's case and not get lost in the controversy over shaken baby syndrome. While there is no disagreement that the following shaken infant causes harm, there is fierce dissent over where the symptoms associated with the diagnosis could be taken as proof that abuse have occurred. Few pediatric diagnoses have worsened, and the gender as much debate as engendered as much debate. The American Academy of Pediatrics acknowledged in 2020 policy statement. This left both doctors and the courts divided. Over the past 4 years, according to the National Registry of Exonerations, 9 people whose convictions rested on diagnosis, 5 parents and 4 caregivers, have been exonerated. Last year, a New Jersey appellate court backed the lower court judge who pronounced the diagnosis akin to junk science. But appellate judges in recent years have also upheld shaken baby convictions, including that of a man on death row in Texas, Robert Robinson, whose execution date is set for October. Here's page 50. Ethan reached out to experts in the field pathology, radiology, neonatology, genetics, ophthalmology. Over the spring, summer, and then fall of 2023, physicians who looked at the medical record independently of one another came to the same conclusion. Alex's symptoms were not consistent with abuse. They assert that bleeding in his brain around his eyes continued to progress during his hospitalization. Some such ongoing hemorrhaging, such as the mechanism other than abuse trauma, explained Dr. Franco Leca, an ophthalmology specialist. So too did the increased bleeding around Alex's brain. The doctors were in agreement. This progression of symptoms pointed to undiagnosed medical underlying condition, like a metabolic disease or blood disorder, which most likely resulted in a stroke. After reviewing the autopsy slides of other medical records, Dr. Darinka Melusik-Pochan, the chief medical examiner in Austin and Anderson counties, determined that Alex had a systemic disorder that was never properly worked up due to the early gestation of the alleged non-accidental head trauma. The doctors noted the absence of obvious evidence of violence. Alex had no neck injuries, broken ribs, fractures, or skull trauma. They also asserted that while Ethan and Hamilton found noteworthy Alex's hospital records, Dr. Starling rendered her diagnosis within hours of Alex's arrival in the ER before receiving all the reports of blood work and other testing. And she did not consult his pediatrician's records to document a sudden increase in his head circumference weeks before he arrived in the emergency room. This Dr. Stern did not respond to requested comments. But with the analysis of one last piece of evidence you have been trying to make sense of that remains stubbornly perplexing, this clavicle fracture. A close examination of the medical records showed that chest X-rays performed in Alex's first admitted to the emergency room and not detect any breaks. Only after he was diagnosed with chicken breaking syndrome was the fracture identified in the skeletal survey on his second day in the hospital. Interpreting radiological images like a skeletal survey can make subjective and evaluating curved bone like a clavicle. Radiologists may disagree whether timing abnormality is a fracture or not. Dr. Joy Mack, a Harvard-trained radiologist, viewed the images last fall at Tennessee Innocence Project. She said she saw no evidence of bone break. She left open the possibility that a slur hairline fracture is present, which she could not detect in her copy of racial images. But she explained that she went CPR, which if a cardiac fracture present is sufficient explanation for such a factor. Further marks revealed the records, which include several CT scans and MRI on Alice's brain, also include the infant suffered not from abuse, or from ongoing abnormal natural disease process. Coordination of the Confession Review Unit, Russell's attorneys filed a motion in state court in December, seeking to reopen State of Tennessee versus Russell Relays. Physicians who suspect of head trauma can no longer stop their analysis and identification of the shaken baby syndrome triad, he read. Instead, they must seriously consider all other etiologies that may possibly explain the constellation of symptoms and eliminate them as causes. Horowitz, the attorney who once called a serious sham and one of his law partners, listed this, also filed a motion on behalf of Kay, petitioning the court to vacate a felony conviction. Petition about whether to open the case with just was just hands. He had been a since 1997, having won re-election and one opposed every election since his appointment. In walkover to the court last Thursday, where Hamilton filed a 71-page report, which detailed the investigation. Eaton and her team will report each time they went for a charge to as the conviction be overturned. It was imperative, she believed, to establish trust with judges for asking them to take the weighty and sometimes politically perilous step of tossing out they went for a judge to ask the conviction be overturned. Tossing out a choice for that, and still that they have a full back in the DA's office. Quote, while it was reasonable for the retraining doctor to consider abuse, report read, every other medical possibility was either overlooked could be ignored. Law enforcement officers plenty followed the course set out by Dr. Starling and failed to consider any other explanation for Alice's condition. After investigation comprised of a hasty medical determination, interrogation of traumatized parents, and little else, the case was considered closed. Lawyers recommended that court vacate Russell and Kay's convictions. Quote, the tragedies of this case cannot be overstated, they conclude. What every single expert Stereo consulted with agrees upon that Alice Mays did not die from this abuse. Shortly after they filed the report, just those here agreed to set a hearing so he could evaluate the findings of the state of defense attorneys as witnesses. There's more, but that'll probably be a part 2. That was a lot. That's a lot. Give me a second. It's sad. It's obviously very sad when you when you have these things, right? When you have these cases, it's obviously saddening to read about them, to understand them. It's even more saddening when these convictions are proven wrong because you think that this person did it, but then you're also told that this person did not do it, and you convicted them because you thought they did when they actually did not. That's the frustrating thing about the justice system, and any justice system really. False convictions. The worst part about them is that it will take decades until people realize their mistake, and decades more to reverse the conviction. And this person might, and sometimes people die before people realize that their conviction was wrong, that someone else did it. Sometimes they die from execution. They're on death row because of something they did not do. They are sentenced to die, and they are executed because of wrongful conviction. And only when they are dead Only when they are buried, cremated, what have you, is it found that they did not, in fact, do the thing that they were executed for. And that is saddening, obviously. Because as a justice system, you have the ultimate responsibility of maintaining law and order while also pursuing bad guys, bad people who commit crimes. It's your job to arrest people. But at the same time, you might arrest someone that did not do anything. That was just a witness, that just saw something. And that burden of reversing the conviction does not fall on the prosecution. It does not fall on the police. It falls on the defense. The justice system is supposed to take away bad guys from society and from the system. It's not meant to take away innocent people who have done nothing wrong. And that is so. And we are stuck with that. But there are people like this wonderful person, Ethan, who work very hard to make sure that those who did not do what they are in jail or in death row for. Fuck. I'm also trying to draw it. Ethan is working very hard to reverse convictions of those who are in death row, who are in jail, for crimes that they did not do, the crimes that they did not commit. But through improper use of justice, they are thrown in jail or thrown in death row for. We as a society have to rely on regular people who have to do their damnness to reverse something, to reverse a conviction, to reverse something so life-changing. And we as a society have to rely on them instead of the police, the law, to do their duty, to do their job correctly, properly. When we as a society have to rely on others to do that, and not the police and not the law, it's frustrating. It's wrong. It is horrendous. And we have failed. And we will fail. We have failed society. There'll be a part 2 to this story. We ended the story a bit early. But that'll be something that you guys fill on. You station at this police station in Robert Street. It's a long road that leads that way, and then it leads the other way. Around there. Where the train's at, actually, so it's pretty nice. Well, I've ran it for long enough. Of course, this stream will be available on YouTube if you want to watch it over. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. 1 second. Don't leave yet, guys. Don't leave yet. We've got to... It's ironic, isn't it? It's ironic. It's irony. Yeah, don't leave, guys. Not yet, not yet. Don't worry, don't worry. I know you're all rushing to get out of here. Where's the station? Where's the station? Yeah. It's a nice little bus. People are getting on, so. Gotta get in here. But, here we are. Here's our stop. Gentlemen. Alrighty. Well, this is our train. We'll wait for this one. But, ladies and gentlemen, Thank you all very much for watching. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're on Twitch, follow me, please. Watch more streams of this. Of course, next stream, next Friday. Probably a bit earlier, probably a bit later. Who knows? But next Friday we will be doing the stream again. Whether or not it's the Skylines where we finish this, or whether or not it's another game, you know, you know the drill. But if you don't know the drill, we're gonna be fully on it on the latest Discord server. Is gonna be located in the description of the YouTube video. If you're on Twitch, sorry. You'll find it in the live Discord server. Sorry, live Twitter. But then show I'm out here, like and subscribe, and again follow me on Twitch. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.